Welcome to episode 13 of Drew's Basketball Crew. Here on the Sunday morning, myself, Drew Skyberg, bringing you your winning lineup on Fantasia Sports. And we'll be going through the NBA slate for January 15th, 2023. But before we get started, we'll make those announcements. You'll catch myself tomorrow evening. Not sure on the time yet, but episode 97 of Drew's Sports Crew will be coming your way. We'll be talking, of course, about the Eastern Wisconsin Conference, how that's been going, and then we'll also touch on Wisconsin sports updates. Not really Packers, as we know, this past week, but we got the Milwaukee Bucks. Might talk about some of the moves the Milwaukee Brewers have made. Today's an International Signing Day, so we might touch on that tomorrow night. And then Journey to a Million, sounds like it'll be coming your way Thursday this week, and we'll be touching on Super Wild Card Weekend is the official name. We'll be talking about that. Talk about some more head coaching stuff. I'm sure there's going to be a debate over the Chargers-Jaguars game that took place last night, so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, at Drew Sports Crew, on the Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And then also on TikTok at J2M Football. J2M Football. Again, that is the TikTok for Journey to a Million. So go find that over there on TikTok. And again, at your Sports Crew on all other platforms, including TikTok as well. But let's get going here. We have a big slate on Sunday, and we got a winning lineup to build on Fantasia Sports. So we have a game at noon already. So beware, I'll touch on every game, of course, but so the slate might start 2:00 for some, might be noon if it includes that New York game in the morning here in Detroit, and there's also some night games as well. So New York Knicks, they travel to Detroit to face the Pistons, and in that one, looking at the lineups, right? New York has nobody on the injury reports, the classic starting five for them. And then with Detroit, however, Bagley and Duren are out. So what that means Isaiah Stewart, looks like he's going to be good to go. He's going to get a lot of minutes at the 5 tonight or today, this afternoon. And it means that's going to have some good production involved with that. So I definitely am looking right away at Isaiah Stewart. Killian Hayes has done a great job. He stepped up at the 1. I'd probably stay with Stewart though on this one, and then the Pistons defensively have been kind of rough. So I'd be looking at RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. Houston and Los Angeles, the Clippers is the game at 2:00 today, and Houston. It looks like Kevin Porter is going to be out. So. On Los Angeles side, it's going to be a lot more people: Paul George, Luke Kennard, John Wall, and then Marcus Morris. So what we're looking at, it's going to be Kawhi Leonard is certainly going to be a guy you're going to want in this one, depending on how many minutes he's playing. I still like what Kawhi brings to the table. Ivica Zubac is actually another guy. Alperen Şengün, as you know, struggles defensively, and I think he's going to have he has a good matchup. I think we're going to get some good minutes out of him. I don't know. We're looking at Zubac. He has a very favorable matchup today against the Rockets. Golden State. I got to give you some guards now. Golden State and Chicago. In this one, we're questioning DeMar DeRozan's status. Lonzo Ball is out, and Zach LaVine looks like he's going to be good to go. However, the forwards for Golden State, you get some value here as JaMychal Green, Andre Iguodala, Jonathan Kuminga are all 3 out. James Wiseman as well. So when I say you get value, we're looking at Andrew Wiggins. We're looking at Klay Thompson. Those 2 guys there is where you get that value. Hopefully, of course, all these guys get well. But next game is Oklahoma City and Brooklyn. And this one is at Brooklyn. Kevin Durant being the guy out with that MCL. I believe it was MCL. Wishing Durant the best on that. It sounds like it's going to be a few weeks before we see him out on the court. OKC then on their side. Not, I'm just looking through the lineups. It's been the lineup we've seen lately. There's two Jalen Williams, and the Jalen Jalen is going to be starting at the 4 today. So could be something there. Mike Muscala looks like he's going to be at the 5. I'd be looking more at Josh Giddey and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I like Gilgeous-Alexander against this Brooklyn defense, who they have some good defenders. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the same without Durant. Durant's had one of his best defensive seasons so far this year. So, yeah, I mean, on Brooklyn's side, maybe Ben Simmons, maybe Nick Claxton. I'm not really looking at Kyrie today. Next one, we'll go to Sacramento and San Antonio. Devin Vassell is going to be out today, which means that we're going to see a lot of Keldon Johnson, Romeo Langford, and this Sacramento team struggles defensively. So maybe even Jeremy Sohan or Jakob Poeltl, those two guys, 4 and 5. I'd probably go first with Johnson and Langford, but I think you pick your choices here. Kevin Huerter looks like he's going to play for Sacramento. Orlando and Denver, this one. It looks like Jonathan Isaac could be playing today. So, that's exciting, right? Where we haven't seen Isaac out on the court in a long time, and I'm really looking forward to his return. Could be today, is what I'm seeing. So check that out. But I'm looking at Markelle Fultz today, and I'm starting fantasy basketball today. I think matchup's good. I think he's going to have some good opportunity. And, yeah, I think he's going to get some good minutes. Gary Harris is a game-time decision, which even leads to potential more opportunity. Cole Anthony has been struggling a little too, so Denver's throwing out the classic starting 5, so you know what you're getting there. Nikola Jokic always can be suggested. Today's no different. All right, we have 2 games left, and a lot of these have, there's going to be some value plays in these games. I suggested last week Spencer Dinwiddie and Tim Hardaway, and they both had great games last week. I don't think I'll be suggesting them today, but Dallas's injury report is a lot of game time decisions. We have 4 of them: Christian Wood, Tim Hardaway, Josh Green, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Maxi Kleber is for sure out. So that's where I think I'd say, if Hardaway's playing, I'm going to go Tim Hardaway again here. It's going to be what I would suggest. Coming off a back-to-back here for the Trailblazers, I'd be looking here with Josh Hart at the 3. And I'd also be looking at I can't imagine Doncic is going to be on Lillard. So I would imagine they're going to try to hide him on Simons or Hart, which that's why I like for Simons and Hart. So I'd keep that one in mind. But we'll go to the Philadelphia-Los Angeles game at 8:30 Central tonight. And the injury report: Anthony Davis out, Austin Reeves out, Lonnie Walker out, Pat Bev is a game-time decision. LeBron is a game-time decision. So right now we're looking at Juan Toscano-Anderson. He's projected to start the 4. Could be against PJ Tucker. So, if you value matchups like that, I'd shy away. But I'll tell you the opportunity is going to be there to log some stats. So that's what I'm looking for. I do think Dennis Schroeder has a great matchup tonight as well. So I'd be looking at Schroeder, Toscano-Anderson as my top 2 guys for this Lakers team. You're probably going to see him in my lineup, so keep that in mind. But not really looking at anyone from Philly unless I'm taking a star. I could be taking James Harden, Tyrese Maxey, one of those guys, or even Joel Embiid, of course. But I want to touch on some value plays here before we head out. Again, Kawhi Leonard has some great value today based on matchup. So I want to keep that one in mind for you. So Kawhi, even I think, here's one I missed: Montrezl Harrell off the bench for Philly. Could provide a spark there for that team, and was going to get some good minutes. Otherwise, you could, if you want to take stars too, Steph Curry. I didn't really talk about him with Golden State against Chicago. Hopefully you're going to get some good minutes out of him. I mentioned Thomas Bryant, mentioned Dennis Schroeder. I did not mention Jordan Poole. So with Golden State, another guy who could be solid. Off the bench again, I'll go back to Golden State one more time. Dante DiVincenzo. So another forward. I mentioned the forwards all out. DiVincenzo off the bench could provide a spark. Not exactly sure how many minutes we're going to be looking at if he's going to be in there, but I do know that I project, some decent value from off the bench. But I would certainly go with Poole, Wiggins, those two over him. But a few more value ones here before we head out. I give some guards that I haven't really talked about. We're going to go to Los Angeles. We'll go to the Clippers this time. We're going to go to Norman Powell. So you could potentially do a Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard stack. I might do it. I'm debating it. I just, this Rockets defense is not good. I think we can have this game go to a blowout, though, is where I'm afraid. Because if this game goes in a blowout, Kawhi's playing 25 minutes. Kawhi's not going to play. But Norman Powell, I think, would be a guy who could still get 30-plus minutes in such a game. So that's where Powell and Zubac could potentially be safer plays based on that. But hopefully Houston makes it a game. They haven't made a lot of games a game this year, but hoping for that. So Lakers, Clippers are going to be teams I have players from. And then that Chicago Golden State game, I think there's going to be a lot of points put up in that one. The over-under for that game is 237.5. And the highest over, you guessed it, is going to feature the Sacramento Kings and the Spurs. Sacramento defense, we know, 246.5 is that over-under. I throw that out because more points scored, more stats accrued, for points. And, of course, you can't use that all the time, or you can't really use that, but I do think it points to where there could be some value with some guys if you're 50-50 on some players. So don't forget the Kings. Don't forget De'Aaron Fox. Don't forget Harrison Barnes. Don't forget Keegan Murray. Sabonis, I might be more hesitant to based on price, but I would be fine with Trey Jones or Langford, the 1 and the 2 there in San Antonio. But that is going to wrap it up here for Drew's Basketball Crew. Lineup will be up on Instagram and TikTok at Drew Sports Crew. So go check it out on there. I'll be back here tomorrow night talking some EWC midseason and some Wisconsin sports as always. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up here for myself, Drew Skyberg, here on this Sunday morning. Thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Drew Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.